Recently, I've been thinking to myself, what would I do if I had to start my agency journey all over again from zero? How would I scale the fastest possible way? How would I book meetings? How would I get clients in the shortest time frame? Because quite frankly, it took me a year and a half to scale to basically $30,000 per month. And obviously, if I had the information I had now, back then, because I've got the skill sets, I've got the decision making down, I would have achieved it a lot quicker. That's pretty self-explanatory. So hopefully in this video, I can give you enough value, and it is an insanely valuable video, by the way, so I definitely recommend watching. It's just going to help you so much because you're right here. If I had to guess, you're probably not where you want to be. And obviously that may, drive a bit of pain, frustration, anger. You've obviously got your desired outcome, and I don't know what that may be. However, I do know if you implement the actual, thing I'm going to share in this video, the two things, you will get so much closer to your goals. It's unbelievable in your agency. And this is from, a business owner to a business owner. I want the best for you. So please watch this video and implement this. Now, quickly, before we actually get into the two detailed technical aspects of, how you can scale your agency the quickest way, you need to become the person that is capable of achieving your goal. So let's say it's 10K per month and you're currently, not making anything, or you're making a few thousand per month. Visualize what the person that can make 10K per month does. What does his day-to-day life look like? What does his habits look like? What does his, decision-making ability look like? Would he make decisions based off, 1 week of doing outreach? Probably not. Because your current beliefs, before you actually watch this video, please enter it with an open mind. So drop your ego, because you're going to learn an absolute shit ton of value in this video. So your current beliefs equal your current decisions, and your current decisions equal your current actions, and your current actions equal different outcomes. So if we want to change the outcome that you're not experiencing right now, because you're probably not signing clients every single day like you should be, we need to change your current beliefs, because your beliefs, as just demonstrated on the screen, equal current decisions, and then your decisions obviously equal actions, and those actions equal outputs. So we need to change the inputs. We need to change what you're doing day to day to equal a different outcome, because one thing's for sure, if you keep doing the same thing, you're going to get the same result, right? And the only reason I'm here and you're there is, quite frankly, my decision making is more accurate with the truth, with the market, and with reality. Now, that does come down to me being in this game for about a year and a half. So I've gone through, my mistakes. I've, readjusted them, trial and error. And I'm going to go through that in this video, and how we can sort of grow the quickest. So let me zoom out, right? And one quick quote, just to inspire you: the harder you work for something, the greater you'll feel when you achieve it. Because even if I gave you, 20 clients, you probably wouldn't value it, but you also wouldn't be able to handle it. The fulfillment would be a mess, because you don't have the, the back end system set up. You don't have the right SOPs. You don't have the right fulfillment. You just wouldn't be able to handle 30K per month right now. And that's okay, because as time goes on, you're going to get better and better. But yeah, just enjoy the journey and enjoy the process, because right now, I generally think I was more happy when I was just starting, trying to figure this whole thing out. Yes, I was, not where I wanted to be. Yes, there was a bit of pain, but it was interesting. You've got a great journey ahead of you, whoever's watching this. So let me talk about the first thing we're going to do to essentially speed up the success of your agency. And it's simply going to be delivering more value than anyone else. Whether it be in your outreach, whether it be in content, paid ads, whatever you may be doing to try to get clients, we're going to add more value. So the two things you can control is volume and value. Now, volume is essentially just putting more things into the systems, because by putting more inputs into a system, you're going to get more outputs. And that output can be positive or negative. The output can be a meeting or not a meeting, or getting a client or not getting a client. But just by putting more volume in, we're going to get more data in the form of metric, KPIs, and I'm going to go over that in the second point. But yeah, keep watching. It's going to be insane, the amount of value I'm giving you. So I generally think, right, if I had to start again, I think I would go for a more content approach for client acquisition. So obviously there's paid ads, there's content creation, there's cold outbound, and there's warm outreach. Those are the four main things you can do to acquire clients, right? However, I would stick to, obviously, if you're starting out and you've got nothing, no money, you don't have thousands to spend, then it makes sense to go for an organic sort of content strategy or cold outreach strategy, right? Because, when you don't have too much capital, you have to make up in sweat equity, which is basically your time and effort going into your agency. That's just how it works. So for example, right, this would be a strategy that I would personally use. So whatever niche you're in or whatever service you sell, if it's AI chatbots, if it's automations using high level, if it's, Facebook ads, short form content, it doesn't matter. You need to provide value to your market. Now, long form content is a great way to do that using YouTube because it gets the viewer to spend more time with you. They trust you more. They're going to, make you think you're an authority figure, and you can just demonstrate your, the knowledge you have of a certain topic on YouTube, which is great. So I would personally pump out a lot of volume on YouTube. Also, I would do YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram Reels. Every single day I'll be putting valuable content towards my niche on these platforms. Just because of the fact that, they can go viral and it's not linear in terms of the amount of meetings you can book. And the only downside to this is that you can't control who comes to you. But to be honest, if you can just if you post like the same video, right, onto YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and Instagram Reels and build a personal brand, it's likely that once a month, one of these videos is going to get viral. And trust me, I've seen this. You can easily book 50 inbound meetings from one video. I'm not joking. Like, if you just get one video to go viral and it's, providing value to your niche, you will get a lot of inbound meetings organically. And the two call to actions you should have from these sort of content strategies, and keep watching because over the next point, I'm going to go over cold outbound. So actually, how we can get clients and meetings through messaging and cold emailing and stuff like that, and how you need to go about it. But essentially, from these platforms, there should be two things that you want your prospect to do. Either book a demo call with you, so a discovery call, that's you essentially about to sell your service. The next one is to DM you on Instagram, in which either you or inbound appointment setter tries to get them to book a demo call, in which they'll say yes or no. If they say no to your to not buying your service, you essentially add them to an email drip campaign with case studies and a weekly webinar. That's what I would do personally. So it's more about systemizing your business, because otherwise you're going to be the system, right? If you're doing all the work yourself, you're working in the business and not on it, then there's going to be a problem. And that's actually what I see with beginners, quite frequently, because I work with a lot of, agency owners. The problem is that you get into this flywheel or this vicious circle of charging a low price, like $500, $1,000 per month. You can't afford to hire good talent because you're charging too low. And then you have to do the fulfillment. And because you're doing the fulfillment, you can't focus on getting more meetings. And you're just stuck in this constant sort of slave routine of working for your clients and not being able to scale. So essentially, we want to hire better talent once you actually do acquire a few clients, which means, obviously you want to charge more, but it's also providing or having or implementing better systems into your agency. And I just want to warn you, the first year of running an agency will be a complete mess. Like, you won't know, you don't expect it to be clean and structured. It needs to be messy though. Like, you just need to pump out volume because, the more inputs we do, the more outputs we're going to do by nature. And then we can essentially change the inputs to align it with the outputs that we want. But that only happens once you actually do enough volume. And this goes on to my next point, right? So creating systems, as James Clear said from Atomic Habits, the book, if you haven't read it, read it. It's a pretty decent book. He said you don't need better goals, you need better systems. But anyway, let's talk about the second point, right? And this is something that I would do straight off the bat if I was starting from scratch, because you don't need that much money. Even with a few $100s, you can do this. And it's going to be currency arbitrage to trial and error. So the main problem you have when you're starting an agency is that you've got no proof of concepts. You don't know how to book meetings. You don't know how to get clients. You don't even know how to deliver the service properly because you don't have any skills yet. But by becoming data obsessed. And let me show you what I mean by this. And the whole, concept of this is that, let's say you're in America or UK or Europe, you can use, currency arbitrage, you can use leverage over the US dollar because it's extremely powerful, and hire talent in other countries like the Philippines. And I'm going to be honest, right? The people who work in the Philippines, you can pay them their average salary, which is obviously a lot less, and they can do more volume. So just like what we talked about over here, by working on the business and not in it, we can essentially systemize our business better by tracking outreach. And let me show you what this looks like. For example, when I first started, I got a VA or an appointment setter from Upwork. That's how you do it. You create an Upwork client account. And essentially your whole goal is to get a VA to just try as many different things. And eventually when you pump out enough volume like this, and it's as tracked as this, where you've got the date, name, whenever you book a meeting, you put it in here. Whatever platform you're going to use, you put it in here. But for you to do all of this every single day, it's going to take like so much brain power and so much energy, you can't focus on other aspects of your business. Now, Warren Buffett said, it's a good year if he makes 3 good decisions. Like literally, what I've noticed from the bigger agency owners is that they focus more on making good decisions through data, not emotion. I see beginners, they do outreach for 1 week on emails or Instagram or Facebook or whatever it may be. And then they're like, Charlie, it doesn't work. And I'm like, you've done it for 1 week. How can you possibly have the data to make an accurate decision? But nonetheless, you're going to go on Upwork, you're going to get an appointment setter for, $4 or $5 an hour to send 100, 200 DMs per day, or emails, or whatever it may be. Emails you can use instantly.ai. Like, that's just what you would use because it's automated and it's scalable. But for cold messaging, now, once again, it actually depends where your niche is. So another tip, I'm just going to provide even more value in this video, is the best way to book more meetings and get clients. And I get asked a lot, what platforms should I be doing my outreach on? Should I be doing cold calling? Should I be doing email, LinkedIn, whatever? My question is, find out where your niche spends the most amount of time and target that. For example, let's say you work with online fitness coaches, online business coaches. I understand that they spend most of their time on Instagram. Therefore, it makes sense for me to reach out to them on Instagram. And that's what I did when I was starting. I got a VA to do this. They tracked if they replied or not. They tracked follow-ups. Follow-up 1, follow-up 2, follow-up 3. Removes emotion from you so you can wake up and not even have to worry about booking meetings because you've got a VA sending hundreds of DMs per day for you. Now, let's go back to this, right? And let me explain one more time the importance of this. Because as a beginner, it is so similar to being in a black room where you've got no answers, you don't know how to scale because you've got no proof of concepts. And it's just like being in a pitch black room trying to find the answer. And most beginners, right, they're in this room, let me just zoom in, and you can't find the way out or you can't find the answer because you've got no data. However, if you track your outreach and you track the reply rate, the positive reply rate, the Calendly send rate, the Loom send rate, all these details, you're going to be able to identify where the bottlenecks are. However, I ask most beginner agency owners, what's the first reply rate for your outreach? And they've got no idea. They don't even track outreach. So you can be so further ahead if you track your outreach because it essentially puts a spotlight on where you're going wrong. It allows you to pin a torch in this dark room and find the answer. Now, let me explain this one more time for you. And if you want this tracking sheet, by the way, DM me on my new Instagram and I'll just give it to you. So, yeah, DM me on Instagram if you want this tracking sheet. But let me explain, right? Having an ideal metrics. So this is what we want to achieve, that, right? In our agency journey, we want certain metrics. For example, let's say we're doing LinkedIn. We've got a first reply rate, positive reply rate. I've just deleted that. Calendly send rate, and then total appointment booking rate. Now, most agency owners don't even know what any of this means. But let me get to the point, right? to make you further ahead in your agency journey than you are. By having things that we can aim for, it's going to make it a lot more easy to achieve that. So, for example, we want a 25% first reply rate. So every message we send, we want 25% to respond. And we want the positive reply rate to be 10%. And we want the Calendly send rate to be 8%. And then the appointment booking rate 2%, and so forth. However, what we can do, right, is per day we can get the VA, so we can use, the financial currency arbitrage using Upwork and people in the, Philippines and other places to, track this. So let's say they send 100 messages a day. The first reply rate, let's say it's 25%, let's say it's 25. Let's say the positive reply rate is that. Let's say we're on track here. We're doing well, and the Calendly send rate is 6%. But then let's say we only book one meeting. And let's say, so to be honest, you can't really get too much data from doing this from a single day. But let's say, hypothetically, we did this for an entire month, and it looks something like that. We added all this up. So we added all of this up, divided it by, 30, how many days are in a month, or 31, 32, and then times by 100, you're going to get a percentage for each one of these. So let's say at the end of the month, it's got 25, and we're aiming for these metrics. You've got 10, you've got 8 here, but then let's say the total appointment booking rate is 1%. Now, we've identified where the problem is in our business, or at least from an appointment booking client acquisition side. We can identify now that this is the problem, the appointment booking rate. Everything else is on par. So now, how can we fix this problem? We can send more follow-ups. Like, we can identify the bottleneck and actually provide a solution. Whereas most agency owners, they are stuck in a dark room of not knowing where they're going wrong. But by doing this, and likewise, if this was like 15% instead of 25%, then we know that the first reply rate is the problem. Thereby, we can change the message after 30 days to make it more closer to this. So we can identify exactly from an appointment booking perspective where we're going wrong. And once again, if you want this tracking sheet, then just DM me on Instagram. But it helps so much in identifying the bottlenecks, because you are going to run into a bunch of bottlenecks during your agency journey. And I promise you, the top agency owners, they are data obsessed. I'm not just telling you this for no reason. Please, same with sales. Track your sales, the show up rate, the closing rate, the deposit rate, all that stuff. Just track it. And it's going to become almost impossible for you to fail. Because if you do that, you identify where you're going wrong, and then you can adjust the metrics accordingly. You can adjust your, the messages, the sales approach, whatever it is that you've tracked. Likewise, even for service delivery, track, the churn rate, track just everything. And you're going to be so much further ahead. Now, if you've made it to this video, so what I should say, to the end of the video, then you've done well, because your attention span isn't a goldfish, and you've actually watched the video, so congrats. Now, also, I rarely do this, so excuse me, but we are opening 5 more spots for our Agency Start program. It's a one-to-one coaching program with me where I scale your agency with you. I give you my inbound systems, my outbound systems, my sales systems, service delivery systems, and then one-to-one coaching every single week for 6 months. So if you're interested in learning, you want to learn more on how we've been able to scale other agencies and how I can potentially scale your agency and change your life, then there'll be book a call, why not? Speak with me directly. We can have a chat, discuss where you're going wrong, or what we can do to scale you. If not, no worries. Just like the video, comment something cool. That's actually a good point. Comment something you want. Like if you want a certain video, comment that on the YouTube. It helps because I'm running out of ideas. No, I'm not. I'm joking, but yeah, it does help. So that's that. Please track your outreach. Please do the volume, because the more inputs we do, the more outputs we're going to do, so we can change the inputs if they're not what we want in terms of an output. But yeah, I think just enjoy the journey as well. Like, I know you're probably not where you want to be, but enjoy it, be grateful. If you want to become more lucky, then, tell yourself you're more lucky. That's a proven statistic. It's tough. It's not gonna be easy. You're gonna face bottlenecks, obstacles, but be grateful for it because, if you've got a roof over your head, you're doing well. Yes, this is nice. Yes, it's nice to have a bit of freedom. Not that I have too much because I have about 50 clients, but yeah, I hope you found some value in this. I really do. I think on this channel, I'm just gonna speak now freely. I'm just gonna keep like going over what has helped me, what I would do, and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I love this. I love helping as many people as possible. I'm gonna stop speaking because I think I'm just waffling too much and I'm going on about random shit right now. But yeah, like the video, follow me on Instagram, and I wish you the best. And yeah, I've got other videos. Check them out if you want, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day.